What's up, guys, and welcome back to DeeterPlays. We've got a little bit of an update here to talk about in Loomian Legacy. We've got some information that has come here through Twitter, a little bit of stuff from Discord that we've seen, mostly patch updates, but I've got some ideas, I think, here, based on what they're saying and based on what we've known in the past in Pokemon Brick Bronze. I think I know what they're talking about here, and we're just going to go into these details just a little bit here first. So, Lando on his Twitter page says right here, it says, "Sorry for the lack of Loomian Legacy updates. For the last few weeks, we took a holiday break through the latter half of December," which I heard about on Discord. That is awesome. They enjoyed their holidays. They spent Christmas with their family. They enjoyed New Year's. It says, "Since the start of the new year, we've been back to work on Loomian Legacy and have a fun new feature for the game, and we'll talk more soon." So it says that's the whole thing right here, a fun new feature. Now, I think I know what the feature is. I'm gonna have a guess. I'm gonna let you guys know here in this video, and then I also want to hear some of your guys' thoughts there in the comments as well. It says, "And of course, we're also working on the next Battle Theater and awesome new Loomians, which we'll have more info on later." So basically, we've got an update coming that they are working on right now. They've been working since after the New Year, so about 2 weeks. So hopefully that means sometime in January or even early February, we will have this update. It looks like there's a lot that's going to be happening. Not just a new Battle Theater. So we've got the next Battle Theater, Theater number 3. I've got some information on that I want to talk to you guys about here, and how to kind of get prepared for that as well. And then also the fact that they say they've got a fun new feature for the game. Okay, so I'm thinking like the feature's gonna, we'll go on here to look at what happened in Pokemon Brick Bronze, how to kind of move on and get ready here for the next update. So we know we've gone through the first 2 Battle Theaters, and as far as what things followed in Pokemon Brick Bronze, like Midas Town was pretty much exactly the same. Route 1, Chesma Town, the Gale Forest, Route 2, Route 3, Sylvan City, those all pretty much look the same in Loomian Legacy as they did in Pokemon Brick Bronze. There was some changes, of course, you know, like Kabunga Coffee. It was basically made for Loomian Legacy, and there were some differences. The build were quite a bit different, but for the most part, a lot of the stuff looked the same. Now, moving on to Route 4 here, things sort of changed because we didn't have to get cut down a tree to go through Route 4. It basically moved us to a whole different area. We started going through Mount Igneous and under Mount Igneous from a whole different area and seeing a bunch of fire types, which makes sense that they changed that because in Pokemon Brick Bronze, we went through like the Graveyard, Glistening Grotto, and all those places. Then we went through Brimber City as the second gym, which was a fire type gym, and then after that gym, they started introducing a whole bunch of different fire types in Mount Igneous and the Igneous Depths, the Steam Chamber, and all those areas through Mount Igneous and finding all those fire types. So it makes sense that they did it the way they did this time. So we, instead of going through Brimber City, we went through the Heiwa Village, and that's where the second gym is. So things have changed. However, just like Pokemon Brick Bronze, they did make sure, like in Loomian Legacy, we do see that what we have here was fire type. So it was really, really good to make sure you had like your Luminami, you had a water type going through the gym. It was super easy, super fast. The only challenge really more than anything was those puzzles. Plus the fact that we are still level 40, we can't get any higher in level than that, but everything that we were encountering in the wild, still not quite up to level 40, so it's really easy to go through if you've got a well-trained team. So considering that, and that Brimber City is what they had back there, Route 6, and I think all this stuff, once it starts moving on from where we are at the Rally Ranch, is going to be very, very different. So technically, we've already kind of gone through all this stuff, the Mount Igneous and all the fire types, so I think we're going to forego that stuff in Loomian Legacy, and I think we're going to start going on to is, you know, in the Rally Ranch, we've got some normal types, which kind of, I think, follows very similarly to what we saw like in Route 7, like over here in Route 7, kind of on the way between the second and the third gyms, we started running into a bunch of normal types, and I think we're going to probably start running into some water types here soon, because yeah, third gym in Pokemon Brick Bronze was water type, but as you can see here, we kept getting closer and closer to Laguna Lake, but Laguna Lake was essentially, that was where the Loomian daycare was, and that is where you could do the breeding. But now we are at the Rally Ranch, which is not next to a lake, so there's not water type, we've just got some normal type that's going on there, which is kind of like what we used to see in Route 8 of Pokemon Brick Bronze. So Route 8 8, we started getting introduced to a bunch of normal type. We've already got some flying type and things that we've already started encountering, but there's also some poison type. So now in Rally Ranch, normal type, we've got the Mewtwo, we've got the Trumbull. So those guys are normal type. They're both pretty tough. We've also got that Gobblendemic that we ended up running into, and that was a poison type. So it's kind of running along those lines, the fact that we do have normal and poison type that we've encountered. So it does sound like we are going to be moving still along the lines of what we did in Pokemon Brick Bronze. So what was the third gym in Pokemon Brick Bronze? That was Rose Cove City, and it was the water type gym. So it was after we went through Laguna Lake and we started getting introduced to some water types. So I'm guessing we're going to get a couple routes here, and they may end up going off the rails and like going into normal type for the next gym, or the typeless, I guess is what it would be. But I still think that what they're going to do is kind of follow the gym setup as far as the type as they did in Pokemon Brick Bronze. So right now they have so far for the first two gyms, so it's reasonable to expect that to be the case. So what do we want to do to prepare ourselves for this gym? That is kind of the question that I want to go over here a little bit. And also as far as what the special new feature is. Okay, so Route 8, guys. It was a route that connected Laguna Lake and Rose Cove, so it was basically where you could breed the new Pokemons, and then you run into Rival Jake again. Well, sometimes you guys are friends, sometimes you guys are rivals, but right there you meet the player and you join battles against each other, making those into double battles until he leaves in the Rose Cove Beach Gate. So you went through a while, and every battle you were going through, you were doing double battles. So they already have double battles for single player already in the PvP, so this is my guess right here, is that the new feature that they're going to have is they're going to bring the double battles here into Loomian Legacy as a part of the actual storyline, and then I think it will carry over into PvP. So when he's talking about that right here, a fun new feature for the game, I'm thinking that's it, because it's really fun to be able to do battles and kind of team up with people. So if that does happen, we'll definitely be doing live streams with double battles in that. So that is my guess. Do you guys agree? Do you guys think it's going to be something different? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are about that one. So now that we're going to be going to, it probably won't be called Rose Cove, who knows, because they have been changing things a little bit, but if it is a town that is water type, then we want to make sure we prepare ourselves. So we're going to take a look here real quick at the type chart and see what the strengths and the weaknesses are. So if we've got a water type, it's really, really strong against fire. So you do not want to have a fire type in there, because those water types are going to be doing a lot of damage to you. Same with earth or electric. The water type will probably do a lot of damage to the earth and the electric. However, water does have a hard time against other water type, and it has a hard time against plant type, and also against ancient. So I would say that the things that you would probably be stronger against, at least like the Luminamis, thing is the water, it also has light, so there's a 1-to-1 hit, and they could probably do quite a bit of damage to each other. But I would recommend, let's see, it looks here like plant type and ancient type are pretty good to go for in this battle. So what do we have that's plant and ancient type? So obviously we know we've got the Feevine, or the Tatab, it's got the Jungle Jitsu, but it's also got the Life Drain, a really good plant move. If they're trying to hit you with water type, it's like watering a plant. It's almost like I would think that would almost charge you up a little bit if you were a plant type and they're throwing water type moves at you. That's what I would expect. If we pull up my little spreadsheet over here that shows the different types, we've got this little spreadsheet here. It's got, there's a guide on evolution, on training, on PvP, and it's also got the average PvP stats. I will put a link to this for you guys in the description of the video. This is really helpful and a nice little quick reference, and we're going to try to keep this up to date and add even more features to it. But here in the PvP guide, it does say what type we've got here. So as far as plant, Tatab is definitely going to be a really good bet for you on the plant. You can see that it's strong against water type. You can also go here and try to see anything that's strong against water type. For the ancient type, the Zulong has its ancient moves, so those are going to be pretty effective against the water type as well. Let's see, moving on here, let's see any other plant. Right here, Gastroak, Wiki. There's lots of plant type actually that you can get. So if you get a full team of like plant type, you've got a Gastroak, you've got Wiki, you've got yourself some, let's see, Chartiki won't be too well because it does have the fire aspect, and so it's going to have a little bit of a hard time with the water moves, so I wouldn't recommend that. But I would get maybe like the team I would recommend, get like a Tatab, Gastrowalk, get the Wiki, an Obsidrugon, and also, let's see, so the Zulong's going to have a little bit of a harder time because it does have that electric type. So the electric side is basically weak against the water type, but the ancient is strong. So it's kind of like a little bit of a wash there going on. But that's what I would just basically stock up. I think the key is going to be the plant type, and we know at least it's not going to be a fire type. They wouldn't do 2 fire type gyms in a row. So if they did a surprise, you had like a plant type team, and they threw in a bunch of fire type, I'd be really surprised. So I think you're going to be set with plant type. Otherwise, who knows? I'm thinking there could be a possibility that they may end up going typeless with these, just because, you know, they're trying to keep things consistent. Everything in the Rally Ranch is typeless. Who knows? Maybe they would just go forward and create a whole new area and just kind of go off from what they did in Pokemon Break Bronze and just make it a typeless gym. That might actually be the case. But as far as when this update's coming, hopefully really soon. It sounds like they've been working on it a little bit in the beginning of December, about 2 weeks here in January. Seems like it takes them a month to 6 weeks to get a really good thing going, so I'm guessing by the end of January to mid-February, but who knows, it could end up dropping sooner than that. And hopefully we'll be getting a lot of updates from Lando and these guys over at Llama Train Studios. But if you guys are new here, I would love to have you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that we can also do live streams and some PvPs and some double matches when that feature actually does come. And thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you guys later.